Hello and welcome back to Futbol Mundial, ladies and gentlemen, the show where we round up the latest goings-on from around the football universe. Joining me, as ever, is the yin to my yang, the Michael to my Cubbin.
Oh, yeah.
It's Michael McCubbin.
Yeah, thank you, Zachary. Great to be back. And what a bumper show we have lined up for you. An elite-level manager who's desperate for players, an owner with an embarrassing social media mishap, and, of course, one to watch. How could we forget about that one? Right, we kick things off this week in Paris, where PSG boss Thomas Tuchel has publicly called for more players.
Oh, the Parisians may be cruising in Ligue 1, having dropped points in just 2 of their 22 league games so far, to leave them 13 points clear already.
Ridiculous.
But injuries to Neymar and Marco Verratti have left him desperate for new arrivals.
Yes, despite watching his side dispatch Rennes 4-1 last weekend, Tuchel was in a foul mood, furious that former Watford forward Mbaye Niang escaped a red card for a crunching studs-up challenge on right-back Thilo Kehrer.
He ranted against VAR and also used it as an opportunity to have a dig at the PSG hierarchy, saying, "We have goals at this club.
They do.
To reach it, to have ambition in the club, and for my players, we must recruit players."
Stating the obvious there, isn't he? We brought you the news last week that the 7-time French champions were in for Napoli's Alan, and they have just signed Zenit's Leandro Paredes today.
But this is potentially good news for my club, Chelsea, as it could spell the end of their pursuit of N'Golo Kante. And I'm not sure we have that much sympathy for a club that has spent just shy of £500 million on new players in the last 3 years alone.
About half of that on Neymar, wasn't it? But with their crucial last 16 tie against Man United just 2 weeks away, the pressure is on Tuchel to deliver. We want to hear from you guys, though. Who will win that tie? PSG or United? Vote in the poll above.
Now, we wouldn't have blamed you for never having heard of Vittorio Staccione, but he certainly has a story worth hearing.
He does indeed. Staccione was an Italian midfielder who played between 1923 and 1935 for 5 clubs, including Torino and Fiorentina. He only played for La Viola for 4 years, but such were the quality of his performances that he was inducted into their Hall of Fame in 2012.
But Staccione is best remembered for his actions off the field, where as a committed anti-fascist, he regularly rebelled against the Italian dictator Benito Mussolini's regime.
Wow, Staccione was eventually arrested by the German SS in 1944 and sent to a concentration camp alongside his older brother. It was there that he met Ferdinando Velletti and Carlo Castellani, the former AC Milan and Empoli players, and played numerous football games against the SS whilst in captivity.
Sadly, after a year of imprisonment in terrible conditions, a wound on his leg caused by beatings contracted gangrene, and he subsequently passed away just a few days before his brother at the age of just 40 years old.
Nasty, but last week Staccione's life and his dedication to our freedom was honoured in a ceremony in Turin in which a gold stone, the stone of Inciampo, was placed into the ground in his memory. Right, now we bring you some potentially exciting transfer news in a window that has so far flattered to deceive. We are actually pretty pumped about this one.
Yeah, it's not been the best window, to say the least. However, Higuain joined, so, you know. That's because L'Équipe are claiming that Adrien Rabiot has reportedly turned down the chance to join Spurs and has said he would much rather join Liverpool.
Ooh, imagine. They don't really need any more midfielders, though, to be honest. But with Spurs losing Kane and Ali to injury, one of their 3 Premier League games this month, and exiting both cup competitions to Chelsea and Crystal Palace, it's fair to say it hasn't been Pochettino's year so far.
Yeah, to say the least. And with Moussa Dembele leaving for China and Victor Wanyama still recovering from a knee injury, the Lily Whites could have really done with a player of Rabiot's undoubted class.
But with Barcelona signing Ajax star Frankie de Jong last week, it is unclear whether they have the wage budget or the space for another central midfielder. This means Liverpool could be in the driving seat to end his 7-year spell in Paris.
But if you were the former Man City Academy graduate, who would you join, Barca or Liverpool? Or stay at PSG? Vote in the poll. It doesn't matter though, because his mum makes all his decisions. Moving on to Spain now, where we have some exciting news for the fans of Chinese football.
Indeed, that's because 27-year-old Chinese striker Wu Lei has joined Barcelona-based club Espanyol from Shanghai SIPG, becoming just the 2nd Chinese player to join La Liga.
Wu made his debut as a 14-year-old, becoming the youngest ever professional player in China, and has since gone on to score 169 goals in 344 games, holding the record for the most appearances and goals for the club.
He scored 29 of 41 games for the club in 2018, winning the Golden Boot and has been the club's top Chinese scorer for the last 5 years.
Espanyol badly need this move to pay off. They have lost 9 of their last 10 games, leaving them 15th, just 4 points ahead of the relegation zone. Only 3 sides have scored fewer than their 23 league goals.
They'll be praying that he'll be more successful than the last player to make the move from China to Spain, Zhang Chengdong, who played just 8 minutes for Rayo Vallecano in the 2015-16 season.
Good luck, mate. I don't really know what else we can say, to be honest.
Yeah, best of luck. Right now it's time for Out of Our League, where we shine a light on a less talked about competition, and somehow we've been persuaded by Yeatley McVeet to cover the Welsh Premiership this time.
Sponsored by JD Welsh Premiership. The Welsh Premiership is the division at the top of the Welsh football pyramid, which contains both professional and semi-professional status clubs.
Fair play.
And which UEFA ranks as the 48th best league out of a possible 55.
Well, that says it all, doesn't it? But anyway, the champions for the last 7 consecutive years, and for 8 of the last 9, have been the New Saints. The New Saints are a combined team of 2 sides, one based in Shropshire and one based in Powys, Wales.
But this year may finally be the year that they are knocked off their perch. They currently sit second, a point behind Barry Town of Gavin and Stacey fame, and a point ahead of Connar's Quay Nomads.
Key Nomads, I believe. But anyway, we'll move on. The current top scorer is Bala Town Stephen Thames, who has 17 goals to his name already. If the New Saints stand any chance of winning an 8th straight title, they'll need Greg Draper to keep firing. The
Kiwi striker, capped once by his country, has been playing for the New Saints since 2011 and has 15 goals to his name this season. The 29-year-old has been flying, though, with an average of a goal every 43 minutes. Not bad, to be fair.
Yeah, go on, Greg. Indeed, if you want to feature next week, make sure you comment, as ever, with the hashtag Out of Your League.
Right, we move on to Mikey's favourite section. It's One to Watch.
Indeed, and this week we are putting Ghent attacking midfielder Georgi Chakvetadze, got that just about, under the microscope.
The 19-year-old attacking midfielder started his career in his native Georgia with Dynamo Tbilisi, where he became a regular aged just 17 years old, scoring 5 goals in 24 appearances for the club.
Not bad at all. This perked the interest of the likes of Liverpool, Spurs, Hoffenheim and Bayer Leverkusen, but it was Ghent who won the race.
Ooh, following in the footsteps of Kevin De Bruyne, who was in the academy there between the ages of 8 and 14, Georgie has hit the ground running with 4 goals and 2 assists in just 15 league games to push Ghent up to 6th, just 3 points behind the Europa League places.
And he wasn't just shining domestically either. His 4 goals and 3 assists in 6 UEFA Nations League games helped Georgia to top Group D1, giving the Georgian people their best hope of qualifying for a first international tournament in 2020.
We are sure this won't be the last you hear of Chakvetadze, so prepare to say his name a lot more. If you want to be included in next week's One to Watch, you know what to do.
Yeah.
Leave the hashtag One to Watch in the comments below.
Indeed. And finally, just before we leave you, we have probably the most ridiculous and inappropriate story we've ever covered on Futbol Mundial. That's right. We've covered a fair few.
I mean, I doubt it. That's because little-known English team Notts County, most famous for winning the FA Cup in 1984, employing Sven-Goran Eriksson as a manager and signing Sol Campbell, have suffered the ultimate embarrassment.
Yes, that's because their owner, Alan Hardy, announced on Sunday that he was putting the club up for sale, conveniently just a few hours after he accidentally tweeted a picture of his own penis.
Yes, you've heard that right. Hardy tried to screenshot a supporter, but in sharing the image, he accidentally shared a picture of his private parts in what Hardy called an honest mistake.
I mean, I'm sure it was,
Sure.
to be fair. But not only are Notts County bottom of League 2, 8 points from safety and almost certain to drop out of the Football League altogether, they're now ownerless and a laughingstock of football. Nice one, Notts.
So that's the end of Futbol Mundial for this week. If we missed out on any stories, put them in the comments down below. However, guys, this could be the last you see of this kind of Futbol Mundial. Mikey, take the stage.
Indeed. We are trying to freshen up the strand, and we've decided that just relaying stories to you guys like this isn't necessarily the most engaging way that we could spend our time covering world football. I don't know what you guys think, let us know in the comments below, but we think it would be more interesting and more fun to just focus in on one subject a week, just one subject, and actually hammer it out, actually go a bit in depth, actually try and shed some new light on a subject, whether that's, you know, a league or a player or whatever, you know, a bit like One to Watch or Out of Our League, but a bit more in depth. or looking at a particular story, like a transfer saga or a player who's under scrutiny or whatever. And yeah, just try and bring it to life a little bit more. So if you've got any ideas about what you'd like us to cover or how you'd like us to go about that, let us know in the comments below. Hit us up on Twitter. There is a tweet out as well at the moment, so stick it in the comments there. But yeah.
I think you've explained that fantastically.
But I guess we've got to say, like, thanks for your support during this long era of Mundial 1.0.
It's
you know, it's gone from a green screen to this. And yeah, I don't know why I'm saying this. It's like we're saying goodbye, but we're not. We're going to be back next week anyway. So yeah, see you next week.
Love you.